like, the doors were locked. I tried to leave filming. I tried to open the door. They said, you're not leaving filming. You're going to go have a confrontation with that person. I understand you want to leave. You're not. Now that's also false imprisonment. I mean, I'm a lawyer myself, but that has nothing to do with it. So it's like, they're just saying like situations like that, or situations like, listen, you were on Millionaire Matchmaker. For me, I mean, this just happened for me on Millionaire Matchmaker. I showed up, I was at the mixer. My mixer was at 7:30 in the morning. I was like, they're like, what do you want to drink? I'm like, oh my God, thank God. I'm like, I need the biggest, strongest black coffee you have. They're like, what? They're like, no, you have to have a drink. I mean, that did happen to me. I mean, I'm not joining the suit, or I'm not even asked because I was on one freaking episode. But, there's all these things about like being forced to drink and, being locked in somewhere. So they're saying like the situations, like you can't, it's not whether you sign the contract or not. It's that you can't put people in these type of situations. Like this is outside the realm of the contract. So yes, they're saying it was like those type of conditions, and they're asking for fair and equal pay. And like, who knows, like SAG-AFTRA get health insurance. I don't know, but this could be big.
Yeah, it could be very big. So obviously this all started because of the strike that's going on with the writer's strike right now, and everything's sort of shut down in terms of Real Hollywood. So the only kind of TV that's going on and filming right now is reality TV, right? And I think, Bethenny and whoever else got this idea because now it's like these people should be valued because that's where entertainment is coming from, right? What I have been saying to you on your podcast and Behind the Velvet Rope and on mine when we talk, because my podcast really isn't about reality TV, but we have talked about what's been going on with Vanderpump Rules. Now, I, from the beginning, have thought that this whole way that people reacted towards Raquel and Tom's affair was completely out of control. And I think I even said to you on your podcast that I felt like, somebody is going to have some repercussions. Is Bravo, the network, going to be canceled, going to be culture canceled because of what's going on right now, and because of sort of the fallout from the Vanderpump Rules scandal? I really think that I remember talking to you about what happened at the reunion and saying I was shocked to see how not only Andy, but Lisa, and then probably the other staff allowed that kind of verbal abuse and verbal assaults kind of to go on in that room, because that it reminds me of Trump. Do you know what I mean? It's like the people that sit there and riot and are nasty and mean just, fester more people to behave that way. And it's just not okay. And the way that those, that Lala and Jason is that his name? Jason Kennedy? James Kennedy, the one with the accent.
Everyone has two names, so you thinking his name was Jason is very understandable. No, it's James.
James, okay.
Yes.
So the fact that they got up and screamed at her, pointed in her face, and was like, "Shut up, you moron!" Like all these things. There's a way to conduct yourself on TV to get ratings, but that to me was like abusive. And I thought that as a character, it's one thing, but as a character for Raquel, I thought, you know what, this is over the top, and a network should have stepped in and said, guys, control yourself. Like, this is not okay.
We love a good Trump reference, even though we accept all political aspirations here. And, we have lots of conservative listeners and lots of liberal listeners. No, I mean, I get your point. And like, you also have to think of like, nothing they wrote even gets into like, I mean, there have been lawsuits between Bravo people for actual physical altercation. So there's all that too. I mean, this isn't even getting
like we saw with the filming at the Housewives of Potomac. People were ripping off wigs, punching each other, threatening to knock each other out.
Which I'm telling you, I guarantee you, we will never see that. I guarantee you that will be edited out. It was between two friends of, not even main characters. I guarantee you what we saw will never make the light of day next season on Potomac.
But
never.
Do you think that was real, or you think they were trying to get on the show?
Well, I mean, they were officially friends of, but right. That makes it even worse. I think it was both. I think two things get to be true. I think it was real, and I think they were thirsty and they wanted their moment, and they thought, and I really think, to be honest with you, I think it wouldn't shock me if they were fired. because
Yeah.
of this. It's not Karen
Well,
or
at least
Giselle.
now,
Right.
because of what's happening. So, okay, there was certain parts of what happened in the paperwork that I thought was kind of obvious when they're talking
Okay.
about how some kids were not paid for their usage, their likeness, whatever, and they for years have been on the show and got no residuals and got no payment for it. What do you think about that? That's
Right.
obviously the kids of, I can think of kids, probably Tamara's kids, Teresa's kids. Do you think they were ever paid to begin with?
I mean, there's like Teresa's kids I've heard at times have been paid. Yeah. But I think I think there's exceptions like Brielle
Mhm.
Bierman, of course, that was paid for Don't Get Tardy. But yeah, in general, that's true. In general, the house husbands don't get paid. So really the husbands, the kids, nobody gets paid except for the actual housewife in general, with some rare exceptions.
And you know what? I just had dinner with Harry Dubin 2 nights ago, and we
You
talked about
did?
this. Yeah. And we
Where'd
talked
you
about,
go?
we went to a place called Harry's in West Palm Beach. It's actually the new
Ah.
hot spot
Did you
here.
tell
Uh,
Harry I said hi?
I did. I did.
Okay.
But
I
and
hope so.
Harry's going to be doing my podcast soon to talk all things reality TV and what it was like to be on the show. But he
And he
did
was on
say,
this podcast. Go on.
yeah, but what he said to me was, Harry is someone who's very interesting because he was on a number of episodes as the friend, the guy who was in relationships with a number of housewives. His name is still synonymous with the show. He told me one season he was paid $10,000. He's never been paid ever for another season, but his name is more famous than half of the people that have been on it for a number of different seasons. So every night I'm out with Harry, including 2 nights ago, women come up to him and want to know him, want to talk to him, want to associate with him just because of his interaction with the show. They think of him as big as a Ramona or a Countess Luann or whatever. So I find that really interesting that he, got paid so little, but made so much traction for himself. But to him, he thinks it's a bad look, right? He doesn't want to be associated with it because he's a real person that has a real job and a career and a life. And he feels like it dumbs him down. I asked him if he was going to join the lawsuit, and he said absolutely not. He didn't believe in that kind of stuff, but he wishes everybody the best.
Interesting. Well, first of all, I've been with him many nights at the Regency. I've been out with you and him together. Yeah, people come up to him wherever he goes. It's a real thing that it's like, we're not making it up. I've seen it happen.
But that's the power of reality TV making you into a star, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, my mouth is on the floor, and it takes a lot to shock me in reality TV. I'm shocked he was even paid $10,000. Shocked. I would have said 0, 0, 0, and 0 for Harry.
Yeah, well, Harry, I feel like was a big enough star and his name came up enough